Hey guys, tonight I want to present to you something that sits heavy in the shadows of many hearts. And that's why I've kind of got a dark background here. And it's trauma. See, it's those wounds that never seem to heal. The pain that was buried so deep that we've learned to live around it, not through it. And yet, what happens when it is not dealt with? When it is not brought to the light of Christ? It waits, it festers. And then at the slightest touch, it explodes into our lives like fire. Unaddressed trauma becomes a seed of bitterness, of fear, and of rage. It does not remain still. It grows roots that twist into our thinking, our relationships, and our identity. You may think you've moved on. You may even convince yourself that because you're functioning, you're healed. But then someone says something or you see something, and suddenly the room is spinning, the air is gone, and you're reacting not to the present, but to the past. See, that's what happens when the wounds of yesterday are ignored. They become the triggers of today. I know this not just as a pastor, but as a man who has carried his own scars. See, when I was 11, my dad, he punched me, and he was angry at my mom, and I remember it. And I just took off running. Man, I was terrified, and I hid under our house. And in that small, dark place, I swore up and down. I promised myself I would never be like my father. Those words were fierce and desperate. And in that moment, I remember feeling a dark presence just wrap itself around me, starting at my head. A heaviness, a fear, an instinct that something had shifted inside of me. For years afterward, I lived with the fallout of that night. Shame, a hardness, a stony heart, angry vows I didn't fully understand. For a time, I felt as if I had unknowingly made a pact with something that wanted to hold me captive. It took me decades to come face to face with that trauma, to name it, to bring it into the light, and to go to God asking for forgiveness and help. And when I finally did, Jesus, he met me there. He met me in the place of that broken vow, in the place of fear, and he began to undo what had taken root. See, that is the power of the cross. And then, for me, there are the battles I still fight daily. And my body, it has its weaknesses. There's a disease that drains my energy. I have to take injections and pills that keep me going. I've told you this before, guys. Some days the brain fog is so heavy I can hardly move. The enemy whispers that I am useless, that I should just give up, that my family and my church would be better off without me. I've known the sting of suicidal thoughts pressing hard against my spirit. But in those dark places, I've discovered a deeper truth. God's strength is made perfect in weakness. I am not abandoned by my frailty. He's in it. Every day I get out of bed, not because of my own strength, but because his mercies are new every morning. He sustains me. He knows when I sit. He knows when I stand. He designed me. So why should I not go to the designer for help? See, the enemy wants your trauma to remain unspoken and unhealed because silence is his tool. He whispers, don't tell anyone. They won't understand. He says, you're weak if you admit it. But that silence is a prison. And Christ came to set the captives free. When we open the door of our wounds to him, he comes in. When we invite him into the memories we'd rather forget, he begins the holy work of restoration. Do not mistake me. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is not pretending it never happened. Healing is allowing Jesus to touch the scars and transform them from a trigger into a testimony. You see, when trauma is unaddressed, the wounds control us. But when trauma is surrendered, the Savior, He redeems it. See, think of Thomas after the resurrection. He could not believe until he saw the wounds in Jesus' hands and sides. But notice this, Jesus' scars were still there, yet they no longer bled. They no longer caused him pain. They testified to his victory. That is what Christ wants to do in you. He does not want to erase your scars. He makes them sacred reminders of his power to bring life where there was once only death. So I ask you today, what wound are you hiding? What memory do you bury so deep that you can't even bring it into prayer? That is exactly where Jesus wants to meet you. Not in the polished parts of your life, but in the raw, aching places that you fear will break you if you face them. And here's the truth. Triggers do not have the final word. Trauma does not define you. It does not define you. Christ defines you. The cross speaks louder than your pain, and the resurrection is stronger than your past. He is the healer of broken hearts, the mender of shattered minds, the one who makes all things new. Beloved, don't live another day pretending. Don't let silence be your prison. Bring it to him. Name it. Surrender it. Let the Savior walk with you into the places you fear to tread. For where he walks, darkness trembles, chains fall, and wounds become testimonies of grace. I love you guys, and I hope you see what God is trying to release in your life so you can live abundantly. Be blessed to be a blessing.